Welcome. We're back. Hope you all had a good day today. We're going to talk about a lot of things on the stream. We're going to start off with Bitcoin. After Bitcoin, we're going to talk about probably the stock market. After the stock market, we're going to talk about Clover and Wish. Two names we've been talking about a ton over the past couple weeks. After Clover and Wish, we'll talk about the ongoing trades, and then after all that, we're going to do ticker requests in probably about half an hour. So don't drop any tickers in the chat just yet. I'm not going to look at them for like half an hour. So always wait until I say we're doing ticker requests to drop the tickers, otherwise they're just going to get missed. That's just like the way I organize things. So we have some sort of format to the stream. And yeah, we're just going to start off with Bitcoin while people are hopping into the stream. Bitcoin, great day today. Well, not a crazy day, but it was up again. You know, it's put in a very nice move since the weekend. When it was down at 31,000, I put out a tweet showing this bullish cipher. Oh, actually, did I delete it? I think I did. There was a bullish cipher on the 4-hour that looked something like this, give or take. That's exactly where Bitcoin reversed right at the 786. It's on my Twitter. Also back tested the descending broadening wedge, classic bullish divergence on the daily playing out. And yeah, you know, it looked really rough, you know, down at 30K, that head and shoulders that everybody was talking about. It's not on my chart because of me, it's just on my chart because CNBC is talking about it, and all these other investors and technical traders are bringing up this head and shoulders pattern. But again, and Mitch Ray talks about this a lot, a head and shoulders is not a confirmed head and shoulders until the neckline is broken. So it never confirmed, really. You never had a daily candle close under the neckline. The last time you closed under 30K on Bitcoin was like the first day of this year. I think literally since January 1st, Bitcoin has not closed under 30K. So as long as Bitcoin can continue to close above 30K every single day, I think it looks pretty good. Obviously, there were, you know, just a few days ago, better area to be entering. But yeah, a lot of other, you know, altcoins and cryptos are starting to really, you know, catch up. Ethereum also put in a very nice move. We've been talking about it ever since that bullish pin bar, that one candle over here. It's been a very nice move for Ethereum as well. Moving on from crypto, we're going to talk about the stock market. Overnight, futures are up a little bit. S&P futures are up 0.11%. NASDAQ futures are up 0.17%. So yeah, you know, a little bit green overnight. We go over to the S&P 500 to just take a look at it. Again, it's just kind of floating. You know, that's really the only way to describe it right now. For really the past week, it's been a very good move for the S&P. You know, the week before last week was rough with quadruple witching and the Fed meeting, and then this week, or last week, we started rallying. This week, yesterday, we had a good day. Today, kind of a flat day for the S&P. Was literally, you know, it was up like a little bit at the close, but it did, again, technically close at another all-time high for the 4th day in a row now. The good thing about the S&P 500 right now is that it's not overbought. You're not even close to being overbought on the daily. Even over here, you were overbought, and up here, you're not. So that's good. You don't have any bearish divergence on the daily or the 4-hour, but on the 1-hour, you do have confirmed classic bearish divergence. So we're starting to show some very low time frame, short-term overbought signals. That's really what we're getting today. You know, looking at the 1-hour on the S&P 500, you have classic bearish divergence. Looking at the NASDAQ, you have classic bearish divergence on the 1-hour. So we're approaching this area where we have been floating up really for the last week very nicely in the broad market. But I do think that we are getting short-term overbought. You know, there's stocks like Tesla and Roku and Nvidia and just a lot of big tech names, Facebook as well, just absolutely crushing it in the last week. And I don't know, I'm not saying any particular names are going to get pulled back, but the overall tech index, the NASDAQ and the QQQ, looks short-term overbought. And you can say that, you know, with confidence because you are literally overbought on the daily RSI for the NASDAQ. You certainly are above 70 as of the close today. If we go over to the QQQ and if we go over to the 4-hour, the last 2 times the RSI was at this level, pretty much right over here and right over here, December 8th of last year and then April 13th of this year. If we line up those highs, you can see this. What we had a pullback the last time the RSI was at this level, and then even if I line it up over here, we had a pretty big pullback. So last 2 times that the QQQ got to this RSI, within about 3 days to a week, we started a pullback. Now the first time we did it was where was it? I need to zoom out again. 1, 2, 3. So the first time we had a pullback, it was very, very small. It was just this little pullback the last time the RSI was at this level, like literally from up here to down here, really nothing. The last time the RSI was at this level though, up over here, then you had an 8% pullback, almost close to a correction. So just keep that in mind. You know, this is a very, very crazy rally for tech ever since, you know, May 13th, May 14th. We're already up 12%. That is very, very fast. To go up 12% on the NASDAQ in 44 days is very sharp. That's a very sharp movement. And historically, yes, the NASDAQ has gone up over time. But when you move that quickly and your RSI shoots up like this, also historically, you do have short-term pullbacks. So I do think there is a pretty good argument for a short-term pullback for tech stocks. Just regular profit taking after major runs. You know, Tesla is not going to go up every single day forever. Roku's not going to go up every single day forever. Apple, Microsoft, all those names are amazing. I love those stocks. But they're getting to the point where they're starting to get overbought on low time frames. You could just have a slight pullback, you know? And that's really the main thing I'm looking at. A lot of tech stocks, they've just been running so much, so quickly that technical indicators, if they play out like they did the last 2 times we were at these levels, we could see a pullback soon on tech stocks. Moreover, or more so than actual industrials and small caps and the overall S&P. Really, it's only the NASDAQ and the QQQ that are overbought. The S&P is not overbought on the RSI. The Russell's not overbought. The Dow Jones is not overbought. And yeah, so I'm definitely a little bit cautious with tech just for a pullback. I don't think there's going to be any crashes, but just watch the RSI because it's not going to stay overbought forever. And that's really it for the overall market. Not too crazy. You know, the best performer today, the QQQ was up 0.36%. That was good. The VIX also did shoot up a little bit today. It went to, you know, pretty much 52-week lows and then shot back up. So that's really it for the overall market. You know, straight into the point. Another thing that I would definitely say is also intriguing is that decrease in volume. We've seen multiple times, even since the COVID crash, where we have these like, you know, nice moves up on the SPY or the SPY, while we're getting decreasing volume. That typically leads to a pullback as well. So like over here, we were having, you know, we were going up like crazy, but the volume was declining. We had a pullback. Then the volume went back up. And then we got to this point, the volume started losing momentum. We had a pullback, same thing. So yeah, just keep all that in mind with the overall market. The trend is obviously still super bullish. All I'm saying is that short term, we'll see what happens with these overbought indicators especially on tech stocks. In terms of anything else I want to talk about for the overall market, really not much. You know, the VIX hasn't moved a ton. Most of the indices were flat today. The US 10-year yield barely moved today. The dollar didn't move today. So pretty quiet day for the broad indexes or indices, apart from you know, the RSI and the NASDAQ. Looking at the ARC ETF for growth, back in literally on May 14th, I was bullish down over here. You can go back to the stream. You had a bullish, pretty much like a bullish crab, classic bullish divergence. It's been a crazy run since then. It's finally approaching a resistance area, but it actually broke above it today. So that's also crazy. We're just going to see how long this lasts. You know, I'm just taking it day by day. And that's it for the overall market. All right, now we're going to talk about Clover and Wish. We're going to start off with, should we start? I think we're going to start off with Wish. We're going to start off with Wish, and then after Wish, we're going to talk about Clover, because I don't need to, but I want to talk about Clover for probably like 10-15 minutes. Wish I should be able to cover in like 5 minutes. But yeah, we got 46 people in here already. Thank you for coming out to the stream. Make sure to hit that like button. And also hit that subscribe button if you're new to the stream. We're literally 5 subscribers away from 2,600 subs. So hit that sub button if you're new. Let's get the likes to 20 really, really quickly. Let me read the chat for like 1 minute. Then we're going to talk about Wish. And then after that, we're going to talk about Clover. Then we're going to talk about the ongoing trades. And then in 20 minutes or 30 minutes, we're going to do ticker requests in the chat, but not right now. All right. Anything I missed in the chat? Rip Runners T says a lot of swing stocks pulled back with the IWM. Definitely a lot of the swings that I've put out actually pulled back, but nothing really, you know, really pulled back that hard today, even from premium tickers. There was just a lot of tickers that were down like 1-2%. Max is ugly loss for me today. Keanu was red today. Max was red today. What else? KTF says SOFI leap calls keeping me green. I played SOFI, took profits, and then I got back in. I made like 100% overnight on SOFI calls. I sold it right at the open, and then I got back in like the afternoon. Shelby says, overall my portfolio was down after a nice 6% run yesterday. A 3% rebound is okay. All right, so we're gonna talk about Wish in a second. Even in the poll in the Discord today, Cheddar Freeze always does a poll of how everybody's doing in the Discord. A lot of people also put red today, I noticed. Yeah, I mean, definitely a lot of swings pulled back. You know, the NASDAQ and the S&P didn't really have the same hot day that they've had for the past week. So a lot of hot runners over the past week did pull back today. You know, nothing crazy, but a little bit. I think that's really, you know, what most people are seeing. Personally, I had a pretty good day. One of my best days in probably some... I had a really good day last week as well, but last week was great. But today was another good day for me, you know, and I don't just like saying that like, haha, I had a good day, like just genuinely like, it just depends on what you're trading. You know, there's been times where I see everybody else having a green day and I have a red day. So, you know, it just depends on what you're in and stuff like that. But again, it's all about making higher lows in your portfolio. I don't know if my mic is too loud. Am I like screaming in your ears? Let me put it down a little bit. But it's all about making higher lows in your portfolio. You're going to have red days, right? You just got to make sure that your red days are, you know, smaller percentages than your green days. You got to balance out your risk. And that's that. But I hope you all bounce back. And yeah. Wish, very, very crowded stock. Pullback 7% today. We've been talking about it every night on stream. All right, so this is going to be, again, with a lot of these stocks that have this much hype around them, it's not easy for me to go out and say, okay, there's bearish technicals because people get mad that I'm literally just being unbiased. But all right, I'm just gonna be straightforward. I don't care. So if somebody wants to get mad because I'm talking about technical indicators, they can get mad. But there are bearish technicals on Wish currently. You have hidden bearish divergence on the 4-hour. It is confirmed. You have daily hidden bearish divergence. It's not confirmed. It's not even close to confirmed. So it's just potential hidden bearish divergence on the daily. And on the 1-hour, you broke out of a rising wedge to the downside. Those three things that I just said are the two of them. These are real. I'm not just making this up because I hate Wish and I want everybody to lose money. No, I am literally just talking about a chart. So don't get mad at me. I've been bullish on Wish since $11. We've been covering it on stream since 11. I'm actually still bullish on Wish in terms of the trend. It's still in an uptrend. It's still making higher lows. But there are certain bearish technicals that, as an unbiased technical analyst, I need to bring up. Okay. This is a rising wedge. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 touches. All you need is 5 touches for a confirmed rising wedge. You have 6 here. That is a real pattern. It was a real breakout with confirmation on the 4-hour. Also on the 4-hour, this is actual hidden bearish divergence. You can look it up on Google and it'll look like this. Lower high on price, higher high on your MACD, MACD crossover to red. Okay, that's all I'm saying. Now, can this underperform? Can these bearish technicals underperform? Absolutely. I hope they do. I want them to, but I have to bring them up. You did break out of the rising wedge today. It was down 7% today. You know, anything is possible tomorrow. We could, you know, Wall Street bets could be really hyped up on Wish tomorrow and they could bring it to the moon. Anything's possible always. It could even just have a back test day trying to get back in the rising wedge and then rejecting it, or it could just continue back down. I'm not a genie. I'm not going to know exactly what's going to happen. But in the short term, there is a slightly bearish probability on the indicators that I use. The flip side is probably 90% of people trading Wish right now are not looking at this stuff. They're looking at Wall Street Bets, Reddit, Twitter, and other things like that. Option flow. The option flow is really, really good, pretty bullish. They're looking at that stuff. So they don't really care about this. And it might not matter too much because this is more of a hype squeeze, not really a squeeze because the short interest is low, but it's more of like a hype social media play right now. And with the hype social media plays, if there is enough bullish momentum and bullish sentiment, bearish technicals can absolutely underperform. I'm just showing them to you right now. So what do you need for these bearish technicals to get invalidated on Wish? You need your MACD to go back to green on the 4-hour, and hopefully on the 1-hour get hidden bullish divergence, which is also possible, but the MACD needs to start waning. And you're just hoping to make a higher low. So your previous swing low on Wish was about 1260. So all you want to do is on this dip, stay above 1260. If you break 1260, then you have 1180. Okay. If you're done dipping, if that was literally it, if this is just a fake out, because again, technicals are not certainty, they're only probability. If this was literally a fake out and none of the things I'm talking about matter, you want to get above 15. If the if the bullish run continues, if it makes another higher low, it's hidden bullish divergence on the 1 hour, and it picks up a bunch of volume, you just want to break above 15. Again, 15 is the major point. We've been talking about wish since 11. We've been talking about 15 since the price was at 11. I've been talking about the $15 level that was hit yesterday. If it can actually confirm above 15, which is what we were talking about last night on stream, because it did get close. If it can confirm above 15, regardless of bearish technicals or not, if it can really break that level, you could see 17.50 to 20 bucks. There's just not much resistance after 15. So that's where it can go crazy. So those are the variables on wish. If you're a bull, you're hoping that these technical indicators mean nothing and it goes to the moon and it breaks 15. If you're a bear on wish, you'd be looking at 1260 to 1180 as your next supports. I'm neutral on wish. I've traded wish a bunch in the past week. I've made money off of the name. I'm neutral on it. There are bearish technicals, but overall I can see going either way because of the sentiment. And that's that. Okay, so I don't know if there's dislikes on the stream because I'm just showing you what I've learned in literal technical analysis textbooks, but I'm not here to cater towards anybody. I'm here to talk about what I see on charts and be unbiased. And again, I'm still saying I'm neutral. So let's move on to Clover. All right, Clover, it had about a 10% spike today. I'm probably going to spend about 15 minutes on Clover yesterday, and this is all right. So for like the past week, I've been talking about putting out a potential swing trade idea for Clover. Every single day I've been getting until yesterday, every day I was getting 3 to 4 messages saying, hey, is there an official, swing trade idea on Clover yet? I got like 5 to 6 messages like every single day. I just had to wait. I needed the variables to start confirming. And then finally yesterday, I started seeing the variables I look for. And again, we're going to talk about Clover for a hot minute. So yeah. Yesterday, you can go back to the stream from yesterday. I talked about this 1 hour falling wedge that Clover broke out of. There was also 1 hour hidden bullish divergence. So that was really what I was mainly looking at yesterday when I put out the alert. The low time frame, pretty bullish technicals. And what I was hoping for when I put out this alert yesterday was that the low time frame bullish technicals play out, which then in turn can allow for the higher time frame technicals to play out. That's what we're getting. Okay, so we had a nice bounce today on Clover because we had the falling wedge breakout and hidden bullish divergence on the 1 hour. And since we got a 10% move on Clover today, the 4 hour MACD is now waning again, and you are again very, very close to confirming 4 hour hidden bullish divergence, which is one of the main indicators I look for on my personal swings. In terms of Clover today, if you follow me on Twitter or if you're in the Discord, I was covering Clover literally the whole day. In the morning, I talked about when it broke out. I could probably, I hope my Discord doesn't make a bunch of sounds. My notification sounds should be off, but I could probably pull it up. Like I was talking about Clover all today. I was looking at the low time frames and I was seeing all the different pivots, and I just want to kind of go over it also for educational purposes, but also just to recap it. So how can I do this? Probably, I also don't want to like leak any messages or anything. All right, so I'm just gonna bring this over, I guess. It's not gonna work like that. All right, it's gonna be bright for a second. All right, so this is the Discord. First message on Clover. Again, anybody can see this in the Discord. If you want to join the Discord, Brayden just dropped the link in the chat. You can join the Discord and anybody can see this channel. It's the Swing Updates channel for everybody. So in the morning today on Clover, where did I start out? All right, so, oh my gosh, I put out a lot. I was literally covering Clover the whole entire day in the Discord. All right, so this was the first one. This was all yesterday. All right, first one today. At 9:45 a.m., 15 minutes after the market opened, Clover red to green off of the wedge back test. So in the morning, it decided to back test the wedge and flip it into a support. Okay. Then I also said the 4 hour hidden bullish divergence is developing, as you see right there. after that, we got a breakout of a low time frame channel at 1308. Again, this is 1308. This is shared to everybody in the Discord. There was a breakout. I was waiting for the back test. We had a back test right over here. Then we got a break hook and go, which is when you have a breakout, you back test the breakout, and then you start moving back up in price. And then there was your go from the break hook and go. Price was like 1340 there. The 1 hour hidden bullish divergence started getting close to confirming. CLOV ended up going up 7% since the entry, and it pretty much went up to about like 1450-ish. And then I literally also said I personally took profits on my Clover day trade around $14.15. But I'm still holding my full swing position and got to reset the low time frame oscillators. It was overbought when it was at 1450 on low time frames. And I literally said this at 11:53 before Clover dipped. So Clover was probably still up like 7 or 8% when I put out this message, again, for everybody, saying I did personally take profits on the day trade. And then it started pulling back, and it eventually dropped all the way down back to $13 from like 1450. I can't even remember the exact day of session highs. It dropped all the way back down to 13. I was just sharing this falling, where did it start? I was sharing this falling wedge that started forming, sharing it, retested 13 over here. And then into the close on that same exact low time frame falling wedge, it got back over the 9 exponential moving average, which I'm actually going to talk about in a second and why I'm using that. And then after hours, it went up a little bit, then pulled back a little bit. That was really the whole entire story of Clover today. And I was like literally sharing everything. This is something I do quite often with premium trades. Like when we were doing like options trades in the premium chats, which are right over here, which I can't show. I go over just options updates channel, or even sometimes I just put it in the chat. And I just share a bunch of these low time frame charts just because if I'm going to be talking about a trade idea, I don't want to just put it out there and say, go fend for yourself. I actually want to kind of educate on how the trade is moving, what I'm looking at during the trade, and try and help out there. So that's what I was just trying to do with Clover today. I might do it again tomorrow if there's enough volume and price action. But yeah, moving back over to TradingView, let me close up my Discord and go back to Clover. What now? You know, we got a nice 10% spike today. We made 50% profits on options. If you're a premium member, it's still looking really, really good. Despite the pullback from 1444 down to, 13 and then back up to like 1336 by the close, the technicals still look really good. So I did day trade Clover today. I did take profits on the day trade, but I didn't touch my swing trade position from yesterday that I opened up. I didn't touch it. So I didn't take any profits there. I'm just still, it was a nice 10% move, but for what I'm hoping for on Clover, it was kind of nothing. And what this can turn into is something. Hopefully, you're getting close to confirming that hidden bullish divergence. This could potentially be your first higher low, right? This was a low and then this was a higher low. This could be the first higher low that Clover creates or has created ever since it was up here at 28 bucks. Making higher lows is a sign of a trend reversal. Now, pairing all of this with other factors such as really good social media and Wall Street bets and Reddit sentiment, also deep call option open interest, and then also just some funny stuff going on. I don't really like talking about manipulation. I don't know if there's any manipulation. I don't like being like speculative like that, but according to multiple sources, the borrow fee for shorting is like 153%, which is literally insane. You can go on Fintel. I don't know if they updated it now, but earlier today it was like 153%. The short interest is reported to be around 36-37% on most different websites. And then also like the shares left to short / borrow keeps going back down to 0. Then some people cover and then it goes back down. So there's just so many different variables on Clover. And why am I talking about Clover so much? Why has it been in the stream title for the past 2 weeks? Why do we talk about it more than any other ticker on the stream? It's because I've personally been in and out of Clover more than any other ticker this month. I probably day traded Clover 90% of the trading days this month. And we've had some great trades on it. Even in this downtrend, we had good profit trades on the long side. I never shorted or got puts in Clover. I was literally buying low in the morning, selling high after a pop. And a common trend we've been seeing on Clover is a lot of the times, literally in the past 2 weeks, it's had like really good mornings where it like gaps up like over here and over here. then it has like a good half an hour or first hour of the day, it goes up like 10%, and then you get like a volume decrease, and the volume just keeps dropping and dropping and dropping, and then for the rest of the day it just bleeds on low volume. And I kind of noticed that pattern about like 2 weeks ago, and I've just been trading it at like half the days that it makes sense to trade it. So like I've been you know, getting long on Clover towards the end of the day when the volume is dried out and it's already dipped a lot. Then I wake up the next morning and it gaps up 10%. I take my profits, then I let it bleed out for a few hours, then I get back long. I've done that probably 7 or 8 times, and like probably 6 of them I made a really good amount of profit on using options. So a lot of times when I have a ticker that's treating me so nicely, like how Fisker did back in the day, I keep going, you know, I just keep going. And again, I never put out a swing alert this whole entire month on Clover. I've just been day trading it, doing options trades with premium members. We've had like 3 or 4 Clover options trades this month alone that were like 50 to 100% profits in like one day. And premium members can attest to that. I don't know if that's the exact number, but we've had a lot of good, you know, Clover option trades. And then just to finish up Clover, because I don't know if you don't like me speaking about this for so long, I just, and again, another educational piece, I like really understanding tickers. You know, back in October, November of last year, I would just look at Fisker all day, and I felt like I got to a point where I really could tell where the price was going. Well, if you saw my Twitter back then, I had some pretty good calls here and there, or most of the time, but I really like understanding technicals on stocks, and that's what I feel like I've started to be able to do on Clover, at least on the day trades. I don't even know, maybe the swing trade fails because I've only been really day trading it, but finally we have higher time frame variables. You have a potential higher low double bottom at the PCC of a bullish cipher with hidden bullish divergence. So yeah, you know, one thing on Clover I've actually noticed is the VWAP intraday does not work that well. So what I've been doing a lot of the time on Clover is using the 9 exponential moving average on like the 15 and 30 minute chart. That's what I was using today to kind of judge the breakouts and the breakdowns. That's been working a lot better than the VWAP. Also, like I talked about, a lot of times it has a nice open in the morning and then it bleeds out on low volume the rest of the day. One thing I've been seeing as well is, as you could see on this falling wedge, and even on lower time frames like we had, like I shared in the Discord, a lot of the times it makes a falling wedge. Like it's probably made like 5 falling wedges in like the past 3 weeks. Like you can see one here, and then there was like there was a little one over here if I go over to lower time frames like I did on Thinkorswim. Because again, think of the psychology, right? If your volume is decreasing and your price is going down, you're going to have less volatile moves typically. So if your volatility is shrinking and you're going down in price, that's pretty much the psychology of a falling wedge. And this one broke to the upside. This one broke to the upside. Tomorrow we'll see if the new one breaks to the upside. So hopefully that like 20-minute talk about Clover just gave you some sort of education. Again, nothing I sell as financial advice. It's just a name that I've been in and out of so many times. That's been really fun to trade, and hopefully it continues to do so. Because yeah, in this downtrend, I've been pretty profitable off of trading calls on Clover. Can you believe that? On a stock that just went from 28 to 11, I've been making profit on buying it to the long side, just because I'm noticing patterns on low time frames. And I would not spend this much time on it if it wasn't like a pretty good, you know, if the results weren't pretty good, right? Why would I spend time on it? I'd probably hate the ticker if I was losing money on it every single day. And I'm sure that's how a lot of people feel from back over here. You know, I lost money back over here in like February and stuff after the Hindenburg report. And a lot of people just hated Clover because of how ugly it got from 17 to 6. But even down at 6, we were bullish on it. We traded a bunch here. So Clover is like right after Fisker for me at this point. And I'm going to stop saying that word because you're probably tired of hearing Clover. But let me take a look at the chat, and then we're going to move on to the ongoing trades. So yeah, that is Clover. Hopefully for all the Clover army in the chat, you enjoyed that. But I don't know, maybe that was really boring and dry. I try and just talk about things that interest me, you know, and try and bring some education out of it. So hopefully you got something out of that. But let me take a look at the chat again. What else did I miss? Keanu Trade says CLOV loses gains faster than somebody quitting roids. Intraday, that's been true. But again, if you can, a lot of people blame Clover for doing that, and they're saying, oh my gosh, it's manipulated, there's bag holders, which again, both of those might be true. I mean, there's definitely bag holders, but again, if you can understand the pattern, you can use that to your advantage, right? A lot of people complain when a stock just loses gains and then it goes back up and then it loses gains. The way I look at it, and this is what used to happen to Fisker. I'm sure a lot of people remember back in the SPAC days, Fisker would get like shorted down in the morning every single day. Every single day, Fisker would go up in the, like right at the open, and they get shorted down. I'm sure the OG Fisker stream viewers remember that. It would just literally every day for like 3 weeks, it would open green, and then in an hour it'd be down like 5%. But if you can use that to your advantage and buy on the dips and sell on the rips, it can work to your favor. You know, you gotta think about this as like a competition at the end of the day. You can't just only, you know, look at it one way. But again, I still am holding long, so we'll see. What else? Top 3 tickers on Wall Street Bets are SOFI, Clover, and Wish. We could talk about SOFI as well before we get into the ongoing trades. It was up like 3% after hours or something. QS also, I know a lot of people that I follow on Twitter have been day trading that. It's been making some nice moves. All right, so SoFi is another name that's you know, been getting a lot of interest. Yesterday, I got into SoFi calls around over here, and then this morning at the open, it gapped up, and I took profits. It was the first thing I did in the morning. The second the market opened, I got calls down over here. I sold my calls right over here today, and then I think towards the end of the day, I got long again at this $19 area, and then after hours, it went up another 3%. With SoFi, it's again not really a swing trade or anything technical. I mean, there is some 4-hour hidden bullish divergence developing, but it's really, a lot of people are very fundamentally bullish on this. Before any Wall Street Bet stuff, I know a lot of people that like this company really deeply for fundamentals, you know, in the fintech space. And I think what was the gap down reason again? Like a lockup expiration or something. Then it gapped down, and then it just picked up a lot of social media sentiment or hype around over here, and then it went crazy today. Again, not really, you know, a technical trade. I don't even have it like any big, I have a really small position in this as well. I just made some profit on it today when it gapped up, so I just put a little bit back into it on the dip. I don't know. Even if it goes back down tomorrow, it doesn't really, I don't care too much. It's just kind of like, we'll see what happens, which is not how I'm ever going to tell you to trade. That's just like, I already made a good amount of profit on it so easily that I'm going to give it another chance. And it did go back up after hours a little bit. So on SoFi, this $19 level, it was support back towards the end of May. Then it's been above it since, and then it came back down on the gap down. It actually, on the first candle that it gapped down, it used it as support. Eventually it broke it, came back above it, flipped it back into support. It tried to hold it for a few hours today, and then it broke it, and then it closed right above it. So $19 is a big level on SoFi. It was up after hours. We'll see if that holds up in the pre-market tomorrow. I know that this was IPOE, I believe. When it was IPOE, I don't know what the short interest looks like right now, but when this was IPOE, it was like one of the most shorted stocks in the market as well. It had like a crazy short interest. So yeah, you know, crazy volume the last few days. We'll see what happens. That's really all I could say. You know, there's not too much else from a technical standpoint. Let's talk about the trades now. A lot of swings pulled back like a couple percent today. We're gonna look at Fisker towards the, it's on my watch list towards the end of the ongoing trades. It's not an ongoing trade, but I always try to cover it, even if there's not much to talk about on the chart. Today a lot of swings pulled back like 1-2%. A few names were up. EDU was one of them. It actually opened up pretty harshly. This trade was down like 5% when it was at like session lows, and then it put in an intraday rally. So good. It's still testing this supply line. If it can break it, there's a gap fill to 938, and then after that there's not much resistance till the first target and the only target. So as long as EDU stays above 736, looks good. Positive momentum is still building. Trade still at the entry. Nice bounce back today. CGC pulled back 2% today. Trades literally at the entry to the cent, 24.32. It just back tested the major support, this 2414 level. It's on the trade alert idea. It was charted and it's been support, you know, multiple times in this month alone. Like literally today it was, and then also historically it has been a big level before as well, as you can see. So yeah, so we'll see what happens. Hopefully it can just hold above or close above 24 tomorrow. Workhorse, this already hit the first target, what, yesterday for a 20% gain. Today it was up a little bit. Second target's 1849. Not much else to talk about there. There actually is a little bit of 1 hour classic bearish divergence developing. Another highly shorted stock, MLCO, stopped out today. Technically it got stopped out yesterday. I just put it as a stop hunt because technically the daily closed above it. But yeah, this one, I don't know. You know, there's been an ongoing joke about stop hunted trades, you know, coming back to life like ALLO did. So again, you know, on both MLCO and ALLO, I put very tight stops. You know, I put 4 or 5% stop losses on them. Just because when I put out the ideas, I was really just playing the supports. I wasn't really playing the full harmonics when I put them out. And they broke the supports. You know, they were holding those supports like for like a month, and then they just decided to break them. At this point on MLCO, there is daily hidden bearish divergence that is now confirmed, but it's at the 886 pretty much. So it is at the PCZ of a bullish bat. Regardless of the bullish bat though, you got to get back above 1685. Again, this is a stopped out trade, but just to, you know, finish talking about it, 1685, if it ever can reclaim it, maybe it creates more classic bullish divergence. You know, maybe it does something like this, and then you get more classic bullish divergence, and then it reclaims the support, and then it goes again. It's definitely possible. Just again, pretty tight stop loss. Nothing I say is financial advice. Make your own decisions. ALLO, it did backtest support again, and it bounced off of it. I actually talked about this in the Swing Updates channel in the Discord, saying that I was looking. I posted it like right over here in the Discord in the Swing Updates channel. I said looking for a bounce, or I hope for a bounce, or whatever I said, whatever the words were, and it bounced. So it just backtested support, bounced off of it. Any day it closes above 25 is a good day to me. PSTH losing positive momentum, that's not good. Hopefully, like this is kind of like the last hope. You hold, let me fix this. Last hope is that you hold this level right here, 22.24. It was your low over here, it was your low over here, and close to your low today. So you kind of want to hold that. Otherwise, all you got left is like this one little mini support and then the stop, because it would be all-time lows then. And then finally, not an ongoing trade, but Fisker pulled back 4% today. We talked about that classic, or on the 1 hour, we were talking about the hidden bearish divergence that turned into classic bearish divergence, but now on the daily, or the 4 hour, you have classic bearish divergence. Again, you know, the alert on Fisker was down at 10 bucks. It's at 19 bucks now. I don't know what's in store for Fisker for the short term. You know, I like entering down here, not up here. It still can keep going higher, absolutely. It's in a very nice trend. It's making higher highs and higher lows. Just not my type of swing trade for right now. Of course, that's still a little bit long term, but there is some classic bearish divergence on the 4 hour. No bearish divergence on the daily. And we talked about that support level. 1882 is what you want to hold in the short term. From this high, and then this low. If you break that, then you got 1737. And yeah, that's pretty much the recap from today. It took me about 40 minutes. Probably 20 of those minutes was because of Clover. Futures still green, not that much though. Bitcoin is currently at 35.8K. So hopefully you enjoyed the intro to the stream. Make sure to hit that like button. Let's get to 40 likes right now. Hit that subscribe button as well if you're new to the stream, or if you're new to the stream. We're close to 2,600 subs. I'm not getting any sub notifications, so probably just like nobody is subscribing. Oh, we actually did get 2 new subs. I don't know why it didn't pop up on the stream. But yeah, we're 4 subscribers away now from 2,600. If you're enjoying the stream, just hit that button. And yeah, that's the recap from today. Let me look at the chat for a few minutes, cool down after talking for half an hour. And yeah. There we go. Thank you, Safiro Rock. I'm so bad with pronouncing names, but like, thank you for subscribing. I can't pronounce names. I'm sorry. I say it like every time somebody sends a tip or subscribes. I'm not good with a lot of different names, apologies. But thank you for subbing. Cheddar Free says, keep an eye on the airlines. Some are close to pulling harmonic ECZs as they round over. Yeah. What was I gonna say? Southwest was one I was looking at over the weekend. It actually did get down to the support. So this $53 level, I don't know if this is a harmonic, but yeah, you can definitely see that rounding action. I don't even know where you'd like anchor it from. It wouldn't be a harmonic, I don't think so. But yeah, you know, a lot of airlines, they've been dipping for a couple weeks now. I saw some, again, I don't know the actual source of this. I think I saw it on like Twitter or something, but I saw some report that airlines are getting pretty close to their passenger levels that they had pre-COVID, which is interesting. I don't know how true that is, but you know, we'll see how that affects things. But also, again, the stock market likes to price things in for the future. So back in like January and stuff, when I put up the video on travel, and how bullish I was on travel for the rest of the year, I guess things already started getting priced in as vaccines are rolling out and stuff like that. So yeah, Champ is 0 for 93 with name pronunciations. That is factual. Worse than Ben Simmons from 3-point line. All right, so I guess we'll do take a request now. Don't request anything that was up over 30% today. Don't request anything that IPO'd like last week. I will skip the chart. I'm saying it ahead of time that I will skip the chart if it has one of those variables on it. I need something with consistency. Before it's moving, I like getting in at the quiet areas, not after something rips. That's not my type of trading style. I'm not a momentum trader. So yeah, also I'm probably going to skip some takers because it's hard to get to all of them, but I'll try my best. And again, nothing I say is financial advice. I am going to be wrong multiple times because again, this is just probability, it's not certainty. All right. Okay, so we're gonna start off with AHT. If you dropped in a ticker before that I never got to, feel free to drop it in again. I just like starting from like right when I say we're doing ticker requests. That's the first ticker that drops when I say that is where I start from. So yeah. Now I'm getting like so confused. There's like 3 of like the same tickers for 2 different tickers. I might have just messed up right there. I don't know. Just remind me again if I don't cover it after I finish this first round. LVS. All right, that'll be the first round of ticker requests. So we're gonna start off with these ones. AHT, yikes. Couldn't break back above that resistance level. I think I had AHT calls at the end of last week. I must have gotten out of them yesterday. Let me see. That was good. Yeah, June 29th. Wait, no. Wait, oh, so I did. Okay, so, oh wow. So I got out of AHT calls this morning. At 9:42 a.m. I actually got out of my AHT calls. I don't even think it was down that much when I exited them. Must have been down, what was it down at the open? Probably was down like barely anything. Yeah, it must have been down like a few percent. I got out of my calls, probably hit my risk level. and it just couldn't break back above resistance. Now it came back down to the 469 level, closed a little bit under it, and the hidden bullish divergence is no longer developing on the 4-hour and daily, which is not too good. So it turned from something that looked, technically pretty sound. The price action today was just not good. I don't know if there's a catalyst or whatever, but kind of just rolled over today, which sucks. I didn't even look at it after I got out of my calls in the morning. I took it off my watch list. I didn't think about it. At this point, I mean, you just want to end up holding above like 440. That was kind of your lows from last week, and then hoping that that 4-hour and daily hidden bullish divergence starts developing again. VERB broke over the 200-day moving average today. Looks like it's a very choppy chart, but it looks like 141 is the important level. As long as you're above 141, it looks pretty good. You did gap up today, but it was a pretty wide gap. Good volume as well. Held both 4-hour candle closes above the 200-day moving average. As long as you're above like 140-ish, I mean, there's a decent amount of room up. You have 183 as your next major resistance, and then after that you have a gap fill like $2. You have a little bit of a resistance right over here from like this low and like this low, which it kind of closed right at. Then you got 183 and then a gap fill, and then your support, like I said, 140. There actually was hidden bullish divergence on the 4-hour, which confirmed like last week. UWMC, I was watching this name. I actually made some profit on it last week, trading options on it. I got in like one day and then I sold it like the next day or whatever. I can't even remember, but it's back under 916, which is not good. That's a pretty important level. If we go down to the 1-hour, you see this 916 level. If I take, like, this is what I played last week. I played like this harmonic double bottom and I took profits at the 200-day moving average, which ended up being like the top for like the local swing high. But you see this 916 area was a resistance over here a few times. And if we go back in time, it was resistance over here, support over here. It's back under that, which is not good. It still is kind of flipping this supply line into a demand line and bouncing at it. This could be the potential second bounce off of it. But what you need to start happening is you need to get back above 915, and you need your 4-hour hidden bullish divergence to start developing again. Tesla pulled back today. Looks like it's just being neutral for right now. Relatively flat day, down 1%. Probably just a little bit of like a pennant, symmetrical triangle, whatever you want to call it. It's not even really filled out yet. And then eventually hidden bullish divergence on the 1-hour can confirm. Doesn't look too bad on the 1-hour, but again, if you go over to higher time frames, you did get overbought on the 4-hour. Not on the daily though. So only a 4-hour RSI got overbought when it was up over here. So pretty neutral. I mean, very good bounce. Obviously better areas to enter a couple weeks ago. That's really it for Tesla. 714 resistance, gap fill at like 657. TLRY, rough pullback. A lot of things just like randomly pulled back today. The indices were relatively flat, but a lot of names just kind of pulled. TLRY broke this demand line today, not good. On the 4-hour, on the daily, it still definitely looks like an inverse head and shoulders could eventually, or it might be, trying to develop, but again, a lot of names, if you get these, 3-4% pullbacks, you stop developing divergence, which is not good. So you're just hoping for that to bounce back tomorrow. So that's what you're looking for. Other than that, I think 1760 to 1770 could be your support. You have like this little low over here and then another little low over here. So you probably want to bounce here. Otherwise, 1730. There is like a few like low time frame supports for sure. But obviously you don't want to keep going down. So I don't know. MRVL, this one's, going to the moon right now. The 1272 fib extension is $60, also a psychological resistance. The 1618 is about 66.50. In terms of your closest support, that would be around $55 from this previous high, and like this little 3-day resistance around 55.40, that area. You do have a gap fill at around 56.54 SLS. Certainly a lot of higher lows on this one, which is good. That's all I could really see here. 1929 is your next major resistance. This is another level though, It was your high over here, and now you're kind of trying to flip it into support, this like little area. If you break this area, your next support's like 11 bucks. If you can hold this area, there's not much resistance till 19. That's really all I could look at. There's not much divergence. Kind of like the psychology of like an ascending triangle. Higher lows, sell wall. You're trying to break out of that and then back test it. So we'll see what happens there. Down 5% today. ORCL, no clue. We've looked at it a few times in the past couple weeks. I could see this one going either way. You know, it's right in between support and resistance. There is no divergence. There's not much of a pattern. For me, it's just not really in like a tradable area to either side for right now. IVR, another name that pulled back. You know, a lot of things that have been pretty hot for the past few weeks. I mean, this one already has been pulling back, but a lot of things, a lot of, you know, swing trade type of stocks pulled back today. You're close to the 388 support. You just want to hold out an IVR, and then again another one where you were developing hidden bullish divergence, but with the pullback it stopped developing. You got to hope that it starts developing and it does something like this and goes back over to green. That's it. 388 is kind of like your lows from what, last week or so. Next one is charge point. Not too sure. I mean, on this one, it looked really good down over here. At this point, your support's 3360. Resistance, I mean, maybe like 38 bucks from like this candle high, but that's not the strongest resistance. I don't really know. I guess it's still bullish above 3250. That was the breakout point. But obviously it's gone from 20 to 35 in like a month and a half. So again, you know, I don't like just making up things. That's all I really see there. Palantir hit the second target of a premium trade, 43% gains, pulling back at the second target a little bit. There is certainly 4-hour classic bearish divergence almost developing. The RSI did get overbought on the 4-hour. So, you know, this is a profit-taking level for people that, you know, were long on Palantir in this falling wedge with the PCZ of a bullish crab, like I was, or like the trade idea was for this could be a target area. You know, it's the 786 retrace, right? If I delete this, it's at the 786 Fibonacci resistance. Like, look how perfect that was. It literally got right to the 786 and now it's pulling back. That's a common area for many technical traders to take profits, for many algorithms or bots to take profits, and also just a psychological area. You know, the actual psychology of Fibonacci or math of Fibonacci. But I'm not saying Palantir can't keep going up. The trend is still good. You just want to continue to make higher highs and higher lows. SOL, it's just kind of in a range between 764 and 10 bucks. Whichever way it breaks will probably be telling. Long term, it does look pretty good. Short term, I'm not too sure. But long term, it's kind of like a bullish bat with a potential higher low after the PCZ, which is also good. Not much divergence, but the oscillators look fine. You just gotta hope that it doesn't have a MACD crossover to red on the 4-hour, because that would be hidden bearish divergence. Lower high on price, higher high on the MACD, and higher high on the RSI, very slightly. But you want to break over the 200-day moving average. Really, you want to get above 1051. If you can get above 1051, there's a lot of room. There is a lot of room above 1051 to run, but there is a resistance. 200-day moving average is there as well. MAXN, I don't really know. Actually, it's kind of like a deep crab. Look at that. Yeah, it went right down to the 1618 from X to D. Like literally right to the 1618 pretty much. And that's where reverse. Welcome to harmonics. Nice reversal there. 200-day moving average at 25.22 ish. Gap fill at 28.24. In terms of support, probably closest one would be like 1989 from this little high over here. That actually did, that's where it opened up yesterday. So that's good. Just want to continue to hold above 1989. That's really it for MAXN. Boeing, it's at a support historical area, lows in 2017, kind of resistance in 2020 twice. It was also your lows from like last or June. It was your lows on June 18th. That's where you kind of close today. You want to hold above 235. Otherwise, you have a gap fill to like 228.60. You have a lot of gaps. You know, you have a gap to the upside at 247 or 248. So a lot of gaps. I don't see much divergence. In terms of like a pattern, you definitely have like a demand line here. Maybe a little bit of like a triangle is forming on Boeing. 1, 2, 3, 4. This could be your 5th touch right over here. So you just want to hold that demand line. And yeah, that'll be Boeing. AMC had a good day yesterday, had a red day today. It's just kind of flipping back and forth. Green, red, green, red. It's just really, overall, AMC is just in a range between like 50 and 65. Whichever way it breaks, in my opinion, could be telling. I think there is some 4-hour hidden bullish divergence developing, which is good. Again, I cannot fundamentally justify AMC at 56, but at this point, fundamentals don't really matter for this name. Currently, they probably will at some point in the future. That could be next month. That could be in 5 years, but for right now, it's all about hype. And there is some hidden bullish divergence on the 4-hour. We've seen this work out insanely well before, back down at $5. There was the same exact type of divergence on the 4-hour. We talked about it on stream while it was showing right over here. After the first insane pump in January, it came all the way back down to 5, created hidden bullish divergence, and you've never seen that price since. Just went and went and went, and now you're showing the same hidden bullish divergence, but again, at a much, much higher price. But that is a pretty developed island. I don't really touch AMC. I don't hate it. I don't love it. I respect it. I respect the community behind it. It's just not really my style, I guess. Even though I have traded a lot of other Wall Street Bets names recently, it's just, I don't know. You know, there's just certain takers where I just let them do their thing. This one, it's just range bound between 50 and 65. Until it breaks to either side, I'm not too sure. UTZ. There is triple classic bullish divergence developing on the 4-hour. MACD and RSI. On the daily, if you ignore this little island, there's also kind of classic bullish divergence. I mean, even just think about it. You have a low and then a lower low. On your first low, you had a lot of negative momentum. On the second low, you only have a little bit of negative momentum. That's a good sign. It's just kind of chopping around right at the 200-day moving average. You closed under it today. You definitely want to get back above it. You did close above like this little level right here, $22 from this low, and this low. So that's a good close, but you got to get a little bit higher, get back above that 200-day moving average. This is a make or break area. You know, if it doesn't hold this, it has room down to like 2045. It doesn't look crazy volatile, but you never know. And yeah, that's really it for, is this like the pretzels? I don't know, but LVS looked good. You know, the technicals start to look good. The call option buyers come in like crazy. It's happened like 3 times now, and all 3 times it just dipped right after. So I don't really know. I had LVS calls at the end of last week. I kind of like broke even on them, or maybe took a small loss. And now it's just kind of, I don't even know if it's going to break this falling wedge to the downside. It's also broken the 4150 support. That was a low back from 2019 and 2017. It's been giving a lot of signals. A lot of people have been talking about it. It's just not really doing much. It's just making lower highs and lower lows. So at this point, when a taker, you know, starts showing a bunch of variables, it starts showing a lot of unusual options activity, a lot of people get fundamentally bullish on it, but it just continues to drop and drop and drop and drop. You might just have to kind of wait until you start seeing a reversal rather than trying to catch a falling knife, because you're going to want to see higher lows and higher highs. Just for more confidence that it's not going to, you know, make a slightly lower high and then drop again. ATIP, there is some classic bullish divergence on the daily, but this chart does look pretty funny in terms of the candles. Very weird stuff over here. I mean, I guess your support's just like your previous all-time low around like 880, 890. And then your resistance is like 995. Kind of looks like a SPAC. But I don't know if it's a SPAC. It says physical therapy. So it's in between support and resistance, a little bit of classic bullish divergence. I don't see a pattern at all. And then INVU. It failed to hold this like 20 cent level. Now it's hanging on by a thread. It's trying to hold like a little 4-day support at 16 cents now. If it breaks that, then you got the 200-day moving average at 14.7 cents, or however you say that number. Or would that be, yeah, it would be 14 cents, I believe. And if it doesn't hold that, then, you know, it would be like 11 cents after that. Again, just another name. You know, there was some hidden bullish divergence that didn't do anything. You just maybe at this point want to start waiting for a reversal, start seeing the life come back to this name, because it's just not there for right now, unfortunately. No, FUBO rejected 35. Oh, it was the pretzel brand. BurgerFi. I use this chart for like one-on-one classes. It's at like this. Wasn't this a SPAC? It was a SPAC, I'm pretty sure. It's at like the SPAC redemption share NAV price at $10, but I don't think it's a SPAC anymore. I'm pretty sure it merged now. There is some hidden bearish divergence on the daily, which implies a continuation of the downtrend, which is not good. I don't know if that'll actually happen, but 980 is kind of your support at this point. From like this low and this low, you want to hold above it. If you don't, then you got 920, like 924, 923, whatever. I don't see much of a pattern. Maybe kind of like a descending triangle, but again, it's not super clean. But it is making lower highs, and then the support's 980. So that's that. NEO was up today. We talked about it yesterday. It broke over that 46 level with like volume and everything. It's running today. Next resistance is 47. Support is 46. Other than that, I don't see much of a pattern or any divergence. I think it actually invalidated some bearish the bearish divergence just like underperformed on the 4-hour. Like literally this right here, I played this move on puts, like literally a day trade for puts. They were like weekly puts. I played it, I got out, and when I got out, I was like, it just broke out of this wedge. There is classic bearish divergence. I could have held my puts for longer. In hindsight, it was good I paper handed those puts because it just went right back up. And a lot of Chinese stocks have been, you know, putting in very nice moves, like Baba, NEO, Baidu, a lot of different names. Plug, I like that it's over the 200-day moving average. Next resistance is like $42. Obviously better entry areas. There was kind of like a mix between a Gartley and a bat, not really an official harmonic, but next ABCD got down to the 839 retrace, ended up bouncing there, but it did actually have a quadruple classic bullish divergence, and it's been running ever since. You know, 42 is next resistance. Your support is $30. CARV, there is some hidden bullish divergence developing on the daily. Pretty volatile. I traded this last summer. There's some hidden bullish divergence. That's all I see. I don't see a pattern. I don't see any close support or resistance. That's really all I kind of see on high time frames on this one. TKR, kind of hidden bullish divergence as well, developing on the daily, on the MACD and on the RSI. Your support's around like 70, 77, 76. Also got your 200-day moving average. Like this is pretty much your support area. You want to hold above 75 for sure. If you don't, then 71 could be next. This could maybe turn into a bullish bat. I don't know if that's steep enough. Not really a 382, but 886 would be kind of like 74. I don't see much of a pattern, just hidden bullish divergence. Got some supports there. FUBO rejected a make or break area. We talked about that make or break area. It was the final resistance level before not a lot of resistance, and it just couldn't break the final one. You know, it had a really, really good run. At this point, your new supports are your previous resistances. 31.38. After that, you got 27.24. After that, you got the 200-day moving average, and then hopefully it doesn't get down there, but then 22.34. But again, maybe it just makes another higher low and then it eventually breaks 35. You never know. But there certainly was some classic bearish divergence on the 4-hour, and is actually now confirmed. You made higher highs on price, lower high on the MACD, and a lower high on your RSI as well. So yeah, it got technically overbought at a resistance and it pulled back. You know, not surprising. PSFE, nothing. I have no clue. There's gaps. I don't see pattern. I don't see divergence. I'm not saying it's going to go up or down. I just have no clue at all. I'm going to need more data. Can't do anything there. I don't know anything about it fundamentally. Bloom Energy. Wow. So it actually broke out of what looks like a descending, broadening wedge or formation. Target would be like 30.64. Again, it could easily maybe wants to back test before going higher. There is some classic bearish divergence on the 4-hour as well. A lot of stocks are showing bearish divergences now. If this plays out, you just want to hold 26 bucks pretty much, or 25.31. That's your 200-day moving average, but also 26 would be around like your back test of the breakout. But that's a pretty good, very long-term breakout. So that is still good. Even if this pulls back, you just wanted to not pull back too hard and eventually make another higher low and hopefully see 31 bucks again. But that's like classic Bulkowski pattern stuff right there. All right. Keep hitting that like button. We're 3 likes away from 50 likes. Let's see if we can get there in like 1 minute. There's definitely 3 people watching the stream that didn't hit the like button. AMD, there's not really anything I can do on the AMD chart. It's amazing. It's been going crazy. But at this point, you know, there was definitely better entry areas. And I could see going either way in the short term, especially since you're now overbought on the 4-hour RSI. The last time your RSI was around this level, December 2nd, you did pull back within a few days. So I don't know if it's going to pull back. Maybe it just wants to continue going crazy. Your new support is 83, 84 bucks. Your next resistance is 94. It's right in between them. I don't see a pattern here. You know, it looked pretty good over here at a major support with divergence. Then it looked kind of interesting over here, consolidating, and then it ran again. You know, at this point, it's like you had the support to enter, you had the consolidation to enter. The trend is your friend for right now, but again, starting to get a little bit overbought. I could see it going either way, but obviously, I'm happy that it's doing very, very well. I like AMD. PROG. I'm gonna skip that song. Next resistance is like 509 from over here in the 200-day moving average. You have a little bit of a resistance around 4 bucks as well from this low, and this low. You actually rejected that in the past couple of days. And then your support, what are these songs? Your support would be like probably like a demand line like this or whatever. Maybe it looks better on the 4-hour. Yeah, probably just something like that. You just want to hold above that demand line. EAF broke a demand line, continuing to fall. Closest support is 11 bucks. Kind of starting to lose the potential of hidden bullish divergence because it's now made a slightly, very slightly lower low on price compared to the lows during this MACD island. Maybe like it's turning into like a downsloping channel at this point now. So that's it. Pretty simple. You just wanted to break out of this to the upside and stay above 11. And then maybe you can see 13 again. Otherwise, you got 11 and then 200-day moving average at like 1050. 2 likes away from 50 likes. Keep hitting that like button. Join the Discord. The link's in the description. A lot of people in there that could help you out with learning how to trade. And not like moon boy stuff, like actual good risk management strategy and all that. THCB, this was a trade, hit both targets. Resistance is 1428. We looked at this last night. Nothing really changed. Went up a couple percent today. Resistance is 1428. If it breaks that, then you got 16. If it wants to go down, then you got the 200-day moving average at 13. And then after that, support at 1240. I don't see much of a pattern or any divergence on the daily, but there is some hidden bullish divergence playing out on the 4-hour currently. It's already playing out. Viacom pulled back today. Did it fill the gap from yesterday? No. There still is a gap fill on Viacom. I have an alert set there at around 44 bucks flat. Alright, so this is, I think what happens is like when we get far enough into the stream, I finish like the whole entire playlist that I have and it just starts playing random songs. Yeah, there's only 23 songs in this playlist. I probably need to find a longer one. Alright, I just restarted it, but yeah, Viacom made some nice profit on it yesterday. Today it pulled back. Still, anything above 43 is really bullish to me. That was a major breakout. As long as you're above 43, I'm still bullish on Viacom. Just pulling back, you know, a really good move yesterday and really the past 5 days. You have a strong support here now, right? You have a gap fill, 200-day moving average, and previous resistance all around 43 to 44. Pretty strong support area that you definitely want to hold. SPR, you have a gap fill at 43.66. Look at this little trade. Who remembers the SPR trade? Like a little tiny trade. That was funny. And then it just went insane. At this point, your support's 43.66. It's not only a gap fill, but also a previous support. I don't see any divergence. It double topped at 53. So that's all I really got for that one. One more like to hit 50 likes. Alright, these are going to be the final 2 takers of the night. There we go, we got the 50 likes. Thank you very much. Vibes in the chat. These are the final 2 takers of the night. ROST and then Smile Direct Club. ROST went up to the 124 resistance, pulled back at it. Kind of, you know, it is definitely making higher highs and higher lows now. But it is in between support and resistance, so in the short term I could see it going either way at this point that's already, you know, gone up in price. So yeah, still above 117 is good. Smile Direct Club, final taker of the night. Tested that, you know, 862 kind of level, held above it today. You just wanted to continue to hold above that level. That's really it. If it can, then 10's your next major resistance. If it can't, then if it doesn't hold 862, there is room down to 721. I don't know if it's going to get there for sure, obviously, but that's like the next major supports. Those are your levels. Not much of a pattern or divergence on the 4-hour or the daily. All right. So Bitcoin 35.8K, stock futures still green, but barely. And that's going to be it for tonight. Pretty good stream. Thank you for the 51 likes. Thank you to the new subscribers. Closing in on 2,600 subs. Join the Discord. The link's in the description. I'll be live again tomorrow night at 9 p.m. EST. I hope you enjoyed the stream. All right, everybody have a good one. Good luck trading tomorrow. Hope you all crush it. And peace out.